Well, I wouldn't overemphasize technology as a tool to dominate the world, but usually the dominant power across the world is the most technological, able and capable. And the US has been such a power for the last at least 30, 40 years. So we could definitely say that dominance of technology has enabled the US so far to be the first power in the world and the only superpower so far. Even though I also believe that usually human capabilities, the way they stay in the world and how they look at the world, and I don't know, their will to die for their ideals, or just the way they can assimilate foreigners in their own country, are factors almost as important as technology. As for China rising, yes, China's rising technology-wise as well, not only overall. And I'm not sure that has already caught up with the US, but is getting closer and closer. There are already sectors where China can be easily defined on par with the US, or at least getting so close to be just on the side of the US. When we talk about 5G or rare hertz or other stuff, China is pretty much rising, but I still believe that there's a consistent margin and a consistent gap between the US and China. And I'm not sure that China will be able to cover that gap. To be even more clear, here we have to determine whether Chinese 5G is the tool for China to catch up with US, or it could be a Sputnik moment, as it was for Soviet Union in 1957. If we're able to determine whether it's China actually catching up with US, or just a brilliant moment, but that wouldn't alter the balance between the two powers, that's the real answer that we're going to have to pursue in the next few years. Yes, industrialization has been affecting international relations forever, I'd say, since the Industrial Revolution, for sure. And also we can witness African countries rising because of industrialization, a pretty fast one, as a matter of fact. Then again, I'm not sure that only economy can do the equation. If we take Russia, for example, which is not by any means industrial power, has never been industrial power, except for a brief part during the Soviet Union. But Russia is still a major power, even though industrialization is not a factor of its power. So we have to remember, as I was trying to say before, when we talked about technology overall, that capabilities, the way people look at the world, how they perceive themselves, are factors almost as important as the economy or industrialization, either in the Western world or in Africa. Russian people consider themselves, for example, but we can mention the Iranians or the Turks. They consider themselves empires. They believe their space in the world is above where they are today, where they have been for the past few years. They think they should pursue their goals as dominant powers, even though industrialization is something that they almost never experienced. So, to summarize, industrialization can alter the international relations, has been altering them for quite some time, I'd say forever since the Industrial Revolution. But other factors, human factors, I call them, they can affect, and they do affect, international relations as much as those factors, economy, industrialization, that we just mentioned before at the start of this conversation.